Hello everybody, GrayStillPlays, and today I want to get into a sub $450 computer build if you're looking to put something together to play No Man's Sky. Now I'm not going to get into the debate on console or PC Master Race or whatever's going on. I just wanted to make this video real quick to talk about some components that I would suggest if you wanted to put together a computer specifically to play No Man's Sky. Now, No Man's Sky put out some PC hardware requirements that were announced, and they're really not that bad. It talks about an operating system of Windows 7, a processor of an Intel Core i3, memory of 8GB of RAM, a graphics card of an NVIDIA GTX 480 or better, and storage of at least 10GB. That's going to be easily attained. I'm going to go into each specific item that you'll need, and with these items in mind, you'll have a complete rig if you want to play No Man's Sky. Now, it's not only for No Man's Sky, this is also a pretty darn good budget entry-level gaming rig if you want to be able to play other games in 1080p. And I don't think you're going to have much of a problem with it. Now, is it going to be like the end-all, be-all, best in the entire universe internet Jesus system? No, of course it's not. But for $450, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Now, as we go into this, just a couple things to consider. The only websites that I'm using for these parts are going to be Newegg and Amazon.com. And the reason for that is because out of all of the different computer parts that I've bought online, I've just found their return policies to be some of the best. So you may have places around you or other places on the internet that you feel comfortable purchasing from, and that's totally fine because it may save you a couple of bucks, but I'm just showing you that at these two sites, we're going to put this computer together for under $450. Let's go. So the first thing is going to be the motherboard, and that's going to be the Gigabyte GA-B150M DS3H. Besides being a mouthful of crap to talk about, it's currently $54.99 with a $10 mail-in rebate from Newegg. It's got 90% of everything higher-end boards have, and it's like 1/3 of the price. The big seller here, though, is the 4 RAM slots in a micro ATX size, making it expandable up to 64 gigs of RAM. It also has 6 SATA connectors, which is way more than enough, and it also includes 4 USB 3.0 inputs. Not too bad for this kind of budget board. Number 2, we're going to need a processor, and for that I'm recommending the Intel i3 6100 3.7 GHz processor, currently $115.95 on Amazon. This was a hard decision because alternatively you could kind of take your chances and go with a G4400 and keep the build under $400, but if we're going to go ahead and meet and exceed the recommended settings for No Man's Sky, the i3 6100 gives you insane bang for your buck. Number 3, we're going to need some RAM in this bad boy, and for that I'm going to go ahead and talk about the Ballistic Sport LT 8GB kit, which is currently $34.98 on Amazon. I've been using Crucial for many years, and I've had really nothing bad to say about them. The speed on this DDR4 RAM is pretty damn good too. It's PC4 19200, and let's be fair, it's 8GB of DDR4 RAM for under 35 bucks. For your hard drive, I really can't fault the Western Digital Blue 1TB 7200 RPM. It's $49.99 on Amazon, and it's a hard drive. It stores things, it's under 50 bucks, and there's really not much to say. I've ran Western Digital hard drives for years and years, and honestly, I've seen some people had some issues with them, but I just haven't. I don't know, I beat the hell out of these things and they do just fine. The graphics card. Alright, this is going to be the hardest part because the graphics card is going to be one of the most expensive things in the entire unit. For this, I'm going to go ahead and recommend the Zotac GeForce GTX 950. Now, Zotac isn't my first choice of brands for a graphics card, but honestly, they really don't make bad stuff at all these days. And you get it for a few bucks less than the competition, which is important since we're trying to stay under that $450 price tag. Right now, it's $132 on Newegg with a 10% off code if you type in EMCEKFL22, bringing it to an awesome $119.70. This is a really decent card for the money, and if you don't have MSI Afterburner to tweak your fan speed, download it. It's free and it'll make this card run even cooler, and if you feel brave enough, you can get to the point where you can overclock it pretty easily as well. Alright, so now number 6, the power supply unit. We're going to go with the EVGA 100 B10500KR80 Plus Bronze 500 watt. This is currently $39.98 with a $10 mail-in rebate from Newegg. and this was actually a really tough one, possibly even more so than the processor, because the power supply is something that you never want to skimp on in any build. EVGA makes pretty good stuff, and this power supply unit has everything that you're going to need to run this system with no problems. My biggest issue with it is that it's not modular, so you're going to have some fun doing some heavy cable management. It's not impossible, it's just difficult, but for the price, it really can't be beat. And then finally, we need a place to put all this crap in, and that's going to be the Xeon XON310BK Micro ATX mid-size tower case. It's currently $22.99 on Amazon. The big selling point on this case is that you actually have a front 3.0 USB port, which is nice so you can take full advantage of the motherboard. It also comes with 120mm fan, and if you have a spare 80 or 90mm fan laying around somewhere in the house, I would install it in the rear as an exhaust. Other than that, it's a case. It stores your stuff. It's like $23, and you get the bling bling leg up fan to feel like a baller. There's no space for a CD-ROM, but to be fair, I haven't used an optical drive in my gaming setups in probably 3 or 4 years. Alright, so what's the damage? That's $438.58 if you go with the i3, or $382.62 if you want to risk the G4400. That's not too damn shabby. Now this build is for the tower rig itself, so there's no keyboard, mouse, monitor, or operating system in this setup cost. If you don't have that stuff laying around and you need to stay on a budget, my suggestion for the keyboard and mouse is just to hit up the local Goodwill. You can typically shuffle through a pile of that stuff for only a couple of bucks. The monitor could cost you, but these days you can probably just plug it into your TV, as most TV and monitors use HDMIs. And for the operating system, if you've never owned any kind of Windows operating system before, and this is like the very first one you're ever gonna buy, if you're a student, you can usually get some kind of crazy discount, and sometimes you can even get it for free. Anyway guys, that's going to be my recommended setup. As always, prices are going to vary all the time. One day it's going to be one price, the next day it's going to be a different price, so don't hate me if it does change. But let me ask you this. Do you have any suggestions on how to make this an even better setup for the money? Now remember, we're trying to keep this under $450. Or if you have no suggestions, what are you going to be running No Man's Sky on? Are you going the console route, or do you have your own gaming rig? And if you do have your own rig, what's your specifications? Feel free to let me know in the comments section below, and as always, stay foxy and much love.